After that, we fast forward back over to present day, realizing that Tim was unable to regain composure after being shot in the ribs earlier, as he was now in the back of an armored police convoy with a cluster of Gotham street thugs. And while thankfully most of the shot was absorbed by his suit's armor plates, it didn't change the fact that every criminal he was locked inside with indicated that they wanted to hurt him when he suggested that they try to keep their cool. So as soon as their ride to the police station began, he was forced to defend himself against every single one of them, while not only bleeding from his newly acquired wound, but also with both of his hands cuffed behind his back. Despite the odds not being in his favor though, he was effortlessly able to dodge the first offender's attack and then neutralize his second opponent by booting him in the face before smashing his third opponent onto the floor by launching his body off one of the walls. But unfortunately, he wasn't able to maintain the upper hand because the officer piloting the vehicle was driving so recklessly that all of them smashed onto the ceiling of the combi just moments later, causing Tim to fall on his stomach, unable to defend himself, and allowing one of the criminals to lift his body up into the air before smashing him up against one of the walls. But refusing to soak up any more damage, Tim would then front flip into the air as the officers continued driving recklessly, and immediately upon sticking the landing, he used every bit of strength he had to snap his restraints in half. Moments later though, when Batman himself intervened, both of the officers knew that they were in trouble because a row of miniature bat spikes were lined up in the middle of the road, causing all of the tires to go flat and keeping them from moving any further. After that, Bruce walked over to the back of the convoy, asking Tim if he was having a rough night, but keeping his calm and happy with his performance, Tim simply stated that it was worse for them. Nevertheless, as Tim began to make his exit, both of the police officers got out of the vehicle as well, with one of the officers pointing a shotgun at Batman. So Tim told Bruce to be careful because that was the officer who shot him and the fleeing suspect earlier, but in a surprising turn of events, the other officer told his partner to calm down, claiming that Batman was on their side. According to Batman though, that couldn't be further from the truth because police brutality and murder put them on the exact opposite side. With adrenaline pumping through his veins though, the officer wielding the shotgun, known as Eddie, continued holding Batman in his sights as his partner held him in his sights, begging him not to do this. But unfortunately, they couldn't get a hold of their emotions and both ended up pulling their triggers, forcing Batman and Tim to leap into the air to deflect the gunfire to the best of their ability. However, despite Bruce and Tim's immediate effort, both of the cops ended up sustaining injuries and bleeding all over the ground, so the Bat Duo began tending to their wounds to ensure that they survived until the EMTs arrived. But as soon as Bruce and Tim tried fleeing the scene, they were stopped in their tracks when Eddie reached over to grab his shotgun before blasting Bruce directly in the back of his head.